Okay, so we are ready to go. So let me know, guys, what we have done in the last session. Remind me. What did we do in the last session? Right. So we worked on clone of VMbox for your practice, correct? And also we saw about how to set up the network. And also we saw about what, guys? What we saw? We saw the understanding of VCS only. We did not talk about the types. Correct? We did not talk about the types at all. So today we'll start working on types of VCS. Clear? So that is what we are going to do today. Nice. And yeah, before we start this session, so I wish you happy new year. So we are in the new year, first class. Okay. So that's great, guys. Okay. What's our session number? What is our today's session number? Today session number, is it 12 or 13? I'm guessing it is a 12, not 13. Is it 10 or is it 11? So most of the guys take it 12. So let's mark it as 12. So today's session number is 12, guys. Every day I'll ask the numbers, make sure that you give the correct numbers. So today is 12. Yeah. And what we are MS Paint. So let's talk about types of VCS. So let's talk, guys. So types of VCS is important for the interview. So the first type is called local VCS. So this is nothing but your very old strategy where we used to, so it is nothing but all your data, right? Whatever the code that you written, so that data is saved on the same mission. So that means there is no concept of server at all, because this is an old technology and this technology was in use in 1960s and 70s era. Okay, so we are not using this method at all. So you can completely blindly you can ignore this local VCS. So local VCS is nothing but you're trying to say write the code and save the code on the same mission. So the biggest problem with this is if the mission is down, your code is gone. That's it. The down can be any reason: theft, loss, electric shock, anything it could be. So if it is gone, it is gone. So the next type of VCS is centralized version control system. So this is where the story starts. Centralized version control systems. So this concept was popular after 1990s. Okay, so we'll talk at the end. Everybody's concerns about the notes, not to be worried. So we'll talk at the end. Okay. So centralized version control systems that came up in 1990s. And this approach by the 1990s, what happened is the client and server methodology or client and server technology was invented by that time. So that is what happened. By that time, this centralized version control system came. So this technology came into the market. So what happened? So CVCS in short, we call it as. So this started believing in something called usage of client and server technology. Simple. Usage of client and server technology. What happens? So we have a dedicated server and where all the client missions, I'm talking about your computers, guys, your and mine. That client mission, that means developer mission or a test mission, test the test developer, or let's say the DevOps engineer. So I'm talking about our desktops or laptops where we write the code. So once we write the code, we go ahead and push that onto the server. So that is what I'm trying to tell you. So centralized version control systems, what happens is we write the code on our machine. At end of the day, we are supposed to send that code onto the server. That's the concept here. And what happened is in this, right? So this methodology invented a concept called repository. This concept, please write this word repository. This concept has invented a word called repository. So where do you save all your money, guys? Savings, we call it now, savings account, current account, savings account, salary account. So that is whatever your savings are there, you're trying to put in your savings account, correct? Or let's say your PF or whatever you're trying to specially see PF account. Everybody knows PF account, right? So our savings after the retired time. So generally we over a period of time we put that into our PF account so that we can withdraw after retirement, right? That is a common sense point there. The same logic applies here. So the code that is written, right? All these code changes are pushed at some centralized location. We store it on some centralized location on the server side. So that location literally will be nothing but a folder, guys. So we save all the data in some particular folder on the centralized server. And that folder, technically, we call it as repository. Am I clear on this point? So can I say repository contains all your code changes? Do you agree? Guys, can I say that all your code changes are saved under a folder and that folder is called as repository. So repository is trying to track your code changes. Now this concept has brought up, I mean to say centralized version control system brought up a repository. Now the question comes is how many repositories? They said it's only one repository that sits on the server side. Repository that sits on the, and this repository will sit on the server side. Everybody will go ahead and push that. So generally people also refer this as project repository. So in that project repository, we go ahead and push our code changes into it. Okay. So that is how things happen. Now the next most interesting fact is, so can I say that in this model, if my client machine is down, is there any damage for me? Do I lose any data? Literally no, because all my code changes are sitting on the server. Make sense? Correct? The next step. Now, what if the server is down? These are all concerns. These are all the concerns of this of the centralized technology, guys. So if the client server is down, right, technically we lose the code changes. So likewise, if the server is down, got it? So if the server is down, what happens? Can I say that our repository is at risk? Do you agree? Technically, it's a risk only, right? It's a risky option. All the data is gone related to the project. But again, if I talk in a different style, so if the team is trying to take a regular backup of the repo, then are we in risk? Repository in short people call as repo also, guys. So you may be hearing words in your project saying repo. Repo is nothing but repository. So if the team is regularly taking the backup of your repository, are we worried? We are not worried. You got it now? So in the architecture, what happens is in a centralized version control system, they spoke about only saving the data on the server side or putting the stuff on the server side. but they never spoke about its risky factor. So if the server is down, there are chances that we lose entire project. So that is the reason team used to take regular backup of that repo and keep it on another machine. So that's a agenda here. So that's a concern, or you can say an extra effort is required. And second most important concern is in this method, right? In this method, CVCS technology tools, what happens is the data keeps on syncing. Data keeps on syncing with the server. So whenever you push or sync, that means client side application will be there, server side application will be there. So keeps on syncing. So end of the day, we can call this as entirely it's an online. Do you agree? End of the day, entirely it's an online stuff. Am I correct, guys? So data keeps on syncing and entirely it is an online, right? So what if in between, if the network is down? This is another assumption we take. For time being, if the network is down, can I say that my entire team is sitting idle because it keeps on syncing? No activity because network is down, right? So from the utilization perspective or the activities perspective, the entire team sits idle when there is a loss of network or when there is not work, when there is a loss of no network. Got it? So when there is no network, there is a damage here. And third point to be considered is in the CVCS, when they came into the market, right? The data between the server and the client, okay? The data between the server and the client, it is entirely traveling in unsecured manner. These are all the concerns, guys, here. Unsecured manner means unprotected. So the data is traveling from your place to the remote server side. It's entirely in unsecured manner, no encryption. So that means no encryption technique. So these are all the challenges happened in this. So no encryption is happening. No encryption here. Clear? And the fourth point of concern is latency. There is another trouble here. Network latency. So what do you mean by the network latency? That means if the number of users or if the number of the client machines that are connected to the repo, if this keeps on increasing, right? Let's say today there are 5 people in the project, so speed is good. Tomorrow 10 people are there, it's okay. Maybe day after tomorrow 20 people are there, 20 people in your project. Okay, I'm not talking about clients at all, guys. I'm talking about your people in the project. If there are 20 people and all are trying to access the repo, so that is where the problem starts. Network latency. That means sluggishness. It will start working super slow. So it will be slow then. Clear? So that's the network latency issues. Got it? So considering all these problems of this technology, but again, you need to appreciate this one because this is the first kind of tools which brought up the concept of repository and made the things possible that you can push the code onto some centralized location and we create a repository at one place so that you can manage it better. So again, on the flip side, so these are all the concerns here. So considering the concerns, what happened is there was a guy, I'll not take his name now. So there was a guy who started showing some interest upon fixing this. Okay, he come up with saying that, okay, we have to fix this. So this guy altogether brought up this fixes by introducing a tool called Git. Okay, he implemented Git. He brought up some tool called Git. And the technological change or type, he invented something called DVCS now. DVCS, Distributed Version Control Systems. Okay, distributed version control system. So this guy, so brought up. Now the question comes is, who is that guy? Very famous personality only. Any guess? We have very famous personality for Git, guys. Who invented the Git tool? Any idea on who invented Linux? Who invented Linux operating system? Guess answers are welcome. Maunika, Nayak, Maninder, Shravya, Kumar, Kirti. No clue? So the person who invented the Linux operating system is Linus Torvalds. This guy. This guy. And interestingly, this guy almost so far gave 12 products to the world. All the 12 products are successful. Correctly dozen. All 12 products are successful. Linux is one of them. Git is one of them. Clear? So Git was developed by very famous personality Linus Torvalds. And whatever the technology he brought up called DVCS, Technica of Version Control System, is so popular today, and it is very effective one also. And the credit goes to the Linus Torvalds. So now let's see what is DVCS. So please take down these points quickly. Is it done? Okay. Nice. So let's see the DVCS stuff. So what is a DVCS concept? First of all, DVCS full form is Distributed Version Control Systems. VCS is a common word. So it's a distributed version control systems. And this technology was invented by Linus Torvalds. Okay. And next thing is he brought up this technology in a product called Git. Okay. Now the question comes is how this model works. So in a DVCS, the first logic understanding is you'll have the two repos concept. It is not one repo. It is two repos concept. So one repo or one repository sits on the server side, and another repository, that means the second one, I would say second repo, a copy, or you can say the second one, sits on the client side. The one that sits on the client side, generally technically we refer this as local repo. And the one that sits on the server side, we call that as remote repo. You getting the point? So in the DVCS technique, the first of all, the agenda is to have the two repos concept. It is not one repo. So server side repo and the client side repo. Now how it works is the technique is the whenever you try to send, okay, whenever you try to send. So client repo will be always, we'll see the working functionality when we are dealing with the Git case. So client repo always will be equal to your server repo. There is a formula here, or you can say some kind of logic implementation. So whatever the client repo, the exact copy will also sit on this server repo. Now, likewise, what happens is in your project, you will have, so this is a logic case. Let's say, imagine a use case case to make you understand how it is equal. I'll go super slowly because this lot of people do not get there into the mind. So let's say on the remote repo, there are some 15 files. Okay, first point is clear. Now what I will do is I will download the remote repo. That means definitely I'll get the 15 files with me, right? The moment I get this on my machine, I'll call this as local repo. That means I'm downloading the entire copy. So that is local repo. Now this local repo, which had 15 files, I'll just add 10 more files. How many it becomes? How many, guys? 25. This is a point number 3. That means 25 files are there in the local repo. Make sense? Little maths is coming now. You have to be so careful here. So 15 files. On the remote side, 15. On the local side, 25. Now, how the logic working is, you have to first pull the changes. You have to first pull the changes. Pull means whatever the latest updates there on the server side, it will update upon your local side. Okay. So it will update upon your local side. So assume that there is nothing update on the server side. So still it is 15. So it will say that there are no updates here. Make sense what I'm talking? The question is 15 were there on the server side. I downloaded it. Still I have 15. I added 10 more on my computer. It becomes 25. So before I push it onto the server, the working functionality is you are supposed to pull the changes. If I do a pull, it will get the latest update of my remote. So if nobody updated, still it will be 15. Then I will get the 15 on my computer, right? So that's the reason it will say no changes. Then if I go ahead and push the changes, guys, push means your updates. That means local repo updates will go and travel onto the server side and get update. So if you push the changes, tell me what is the head count of the files on the server side now? It is 25, right? So that is what on the server side happens. Now after pull and push are done, can I say my local repo is equal to the remote repo? Make sense? They are equal, correct? They are equal only. Now at this point of time, like you and me, in your project, everybody does this. Everybody does this, guys. Whoever wants to push the changes, first they have to pull the changes and then push the changes, pull and push. So what is happening is by pull, your repo gets updated, that is there on your computer. By push, the server repo gets updated. By pull and push activities, both are equal. That means if I apply the logic of if the server is down, am I worried? Am I worried? Not worried, right? I'm not at loss. And even if I'm not taking a backup, am I worried? Not, because a copy is always sitting on the local computers. Make sense? Do you agree, guys? It's like a receipt bill only. So when you go and buy, they will write some receipt for you. A copy is with you and original copy with them. Make sense? That is how it looks like. Okay. I hope you understood this. So the logic working of distributed version control system is, so we have to pull the changes and push the changes so that the local repo and the remote repo are in sync and they are in tandem, or you can say it is equal, so that we are not worried about server is down or not taking a backup at all. So no extra activity is required. This is the first advantage we have. Second advantage, right? You have to be on a network only when you want to download, when you want to pull, and when you want to push. That means rest of the time you can work offline. No need of network at all. You download the repo, disconnect the network cable, happily develop your code. Then when you feel that I need to update to the server, connect the network cable, do and pull and push activities. So offline capability has been implemented in DVCS now. If this has been fixed, Can I say that third problem is also fixed? That is network latency is gone. Do you agree? Because the people only get connected or require the network only when it is required. Rest of the time, the or you can say the software itself will help you to work in offline mode. So entirely offline mode, no need ought to be always online. You can work offline also. Only when you want to download or update to the server or get the updates from the server, then you have to be on network. Rest of the time, it's always offline activity. So this has automatically solved the third problem, that is network latency. And this tool also solved the one more problem. This technique, encryption. So DVCS techniques is implement something called encryption, guys. When the data is traveling from your computer to the server or from the server to your machine, data is entirely encrypted. So even somebody in the between, somebody hacks, we are not worried at all. Clear? Because encryption has been introduced. Understood all these 4 points? And fifth more advantage is speed. Speed also, guys, comparative to the CVCS operating tools, DVCS operating tools work 6 times faster than the capacity of CVCS. So this is what the data of the Google says. So Google says that the speed of these DVCS tools are 6 times the capacity of CVCS. So speed is also far better. And if you talk about some tools in the market which believe in the methodology of DVCS are, Git is the one, right? Mercurial, Tortoise. So these are all the tools which believe in the principle of DVCS. Okay. So these are all believe in DVCS. I hope you are getting now. So if you talk about the history, guys, we say Gandhian principles, correct? That means they believe in Gandhi principles, right? Some people say we are leftist ideology, something like Subhash Chandra Bose ideologies. So that is what I'm talking. So here, if you apply that logic here, so the DVCS fundamental or the concept is followed by Git, Mercurial, and Tortoise. These are good examples. Likewise, we have some products called for CVCS is SVN and TFS. SVN, subversion, and subversion is the full name, and TFS full form is Team Foundation Server. TFS full form is Team Foundation Server, and this is a tool of Microsoft. TFS is a tool of Microsoft, guys. Correct? Now, one more very interesting point. DVCS techniques have been introduced around 2003 only. And this technology became somewhat recognizable or a popular after 2007. That means DVCS evolved along with the DevOps. That is one fundamental analysis is DVCS technologies have evolved or methodology evolved along in parallel to the DevOps. Correct? DevOps was able to perceive this DVCS. And one more point to be noted is today if you talk, you will not find any difference. You will not find any difference between a DVCS and CVCS. Any reason for this? You'll not find any difference at all, guys. Whatever DVCS is doing, the same thing is also possible in CVCS now. Any reason for this? The reason is after DVCS has shown to the world that okay, this is how you can do better. So CVCS products which believe in CVCS methodologies, they also copied this ideology now. So that's the reason. In SVN also you see the repos concept, two repos concept, you can work offline. All these capabilities are also there in SVN now. But fundamentally in the evolution wise, at once upon a time, these techniques were not there at all. So these techniques were brought up by DVCS. After DVCS brought out, these concepts are copied or implemented in CVCS also. Clear on this concept now? Anuja, Arun, Atif. Now, in the interest perspective, guys, very famous question is, what is VCS? Please make a note of the questions. So we'll maintain one notepad for your class. Okay, well, I'll maintain this. So from the Git, let's talk about VCS. So the questions can be, so what is VCS? This is a very, very straightforward question. Okay. The next, they can ask you, what is a difference between a CVCS and a DVCS? This is a very popular question actually. If you see, you sit for 10 interviews, this question you might face in 2 to 3 interviews, guys. What is the difference between important question, centralized version control and DVCS? At least you should be in a position to talk about at least 4 to 5 differences that we spoke. Clear? At least 4 to 5. And that's your homework, guys. Your homework is to collect more points on difference between a centralized version control system and distributed version control systems. So please work on this homework. And those who have done, as you know, please go ahead and send the mail to me. So I'll audit and let you know. Then let's go on with the practical now. So I hope you understood the difference between DVCS and CVCS. Next is jump into the Git. So please start writing the points, guys. These are all small points only. So what are the features of the Git? So Git is an open source and comes under the concept of DVCS. So this is what I'm talking. So this comes under the concept of DVCS. It's an open source. And if it is DVCS, then technically it follows 2 repo concept, remote repo and local repo. And I told you that Git follows the encryption mechanism. So it implements the algorithm called SHA. So SHA full form is secure hash algorithm. A lot of algorithms are there for encryption. SHA is one of the best one in the world. And that is the SHA algorithm. And Git is a tool which works on both on your Windows, Linux and Mac. And Git operating system can be 32 or a 64. So it works either if you have old computer, it works even if you have a new computer also. And this has been brought up by 2003 by Linus Torvalds, very famous personality. Okay. Then next, and initially Git was written in the C language, then started into the Perl, and currently migration is going on in Python. So I repeat, guys, initially Git was written in using C language only. So in middle, they thought of converting it to Perl. They already done it, half part. And new vision is they have the disclaimer on their site telling that their vision is to rewrite the product into the Python now. So it's already started, but it will take more 3 to 4 years to get this done. And this is an official site. So as I already told on the other day, right, we went ahead and downloaded. So if you say Git, this is a Git, guys, Git, Git, Git. And this is the site which is not great, not fancy, simple, because it's an open source. Okay. And these are the, you can say, the people who are using the Git. And I guess we should also include our names here. And this is where you can download for Windows. So on the other day, we're done for the installation of Linux. Correct? How many of you are done with your Git installation on Linux? Confirm. Done. Raise your hands. Okay, nice. Most of the people done. So Git is super easy to install on Linux. Now let's bother about Git installation on Windows now. Windows. So what you guys to do is go on to this site and go to this downloads for Windows, and this will open up the page. And one common mistake students would do is please don't be in a hurry in clicking on whatever you like here. No, always make a habit of reading the stuff first. Read it. What is there? So standalone installer is there, portable is there. Okay. So we don't bother about portable. No, we can ignore. Standalone. This is what we are interested in. The standalone, again, two choices, 32 and 64. So you have to think and act. So this is what we require. That is what we require. So we click on it and it starts downloading on your computer. Okay. So that is what happens. And you have very good screenshots here. So you can click on this. Yeah. And you have the screenshots on how to install it. Okay. Please refer to the screenshots. And you have to proceed with install. It's all about like next, finish, guys. Installation is simple. It's all about next, finish. But you have to be cautious at one point. So each screen will have a screenshot that looks like this. Looks like only, guys. May not be same. Like each window you get, you will have a heading. So second one looks like information. Third one is select components. Fourth one is choose default editor. Fifth one is adjust path, right? So this is where you have to be careful. When you get this screenshot that says adjust path environment. So you have to be hold on there. So in that screenshot, please make sure that you select this option. Use Git from Git bash only. So please use that option. So if you use that option, what happens is a small program gets installed on your computer that is called Git bash. This is what we want. If you select that option, we'll get a small program automatically installed that is called Git bash. So open this. And this is a place where you're supposed to use to execute all the Git commands. So this is a small kind of a terminal, or you can say a small application where it helps you to execute your Git commands. So this program we require, guys. That's the reason we have to select this option. And the rest of the screenshots, it's blind. Next, finish. Are we clear on this point? Divya, Ekta, Nayak, Gopal, Kavya, Kirti, Kumar. Okay. So I want you guys to go ahead and proceed and confirm. Okay, please go ahead and proceed and install. So once you install, please go ahead and open your Git bash and open like this. And once you open up, just try this command, git --version. So this is a version we installed. Got it now, guys? Okay, good. So that's about your Git installation. So we have all the screenshots here. Nice. Okay, the next one is we have to proceed with configurations. Okay, so as soon as it is installed, guys, very important point. Let me go ahead and start our missions now. Let me start our missions and do the configurations. So commands in the Windows and commands that you try in Linux, same. They don't change, guys. I repeat once again, don't think that commands in Linux will look different and commands in Windows will look different. No. Git commands, whatever you learn, You can try on a Windows, you can try on Linux, you can also try on Mac. Command is same, no fundamental difference. Okay, only the behind the scenes things will change, but stories likewise. Okay, let me start the computer. I guess this is what you are trying to use. So go ahead and let's start. So observe how I am starting guys today, because for next 4 or 5 days I'll show you how to start and how to connect, but thereafter I may not. So by the time you guys join the class, it will be ready for connection. So I'm here. So I got connected. So we use a command called nmtui. I repeat, nmtui. So then next is activate a connection. Activate, back, quit. Then type the command host name is a single word, guys. Don't split them or don't spread it or divide it. Host name is a single word. Then use hyphen and use capital I. Please make sure that you write capital I in your note. Small I will give you different value. I want capital I. Okay, you get some stuff there. So in that you need to pick up the first stuff only. 192.168.1.15. So this is your IP address. Then open your MobiXterm, the application that I told you to download. You click on the session and click on SSH. To connect to a Linux computer, you need to use the SSH only. Click on it and type the IP address 192.168.1.15, whatever you got it over there, and click OK. You see, login as root password. That's it. I logged in. Is it good? Are we clear on the connection process, at least by visualization? I did not do any magic here, guys. So I don't know why some are not able to connect. No magic. Just I started the computer. I activated the internet and I just used the terminal and connected. That's it. Fine. So once I got connected, so I can check whether Git is installed or not. On the other day we done it. So we know Git version is installed. Now, the first activity after your installation is to check the configuration. You have to configure, guys. So before you configure, we have to check the configurations. So the command is git config -- list. Do I got any data? Git config -- list. I did not receive any data. I did not get anything. That means no configurations because we just installed it. That is the reason. So configurations are required here. The reason is if you send the data from your machine to the remote server, it should understand who has sent the code and what code. For example, will you guys will be happy to receive a courier which does not have any identity? Tell me, do you want to receive a courier which does not have any identity? It just says give it to you. Will you accept? You don't have any details who has sent, from where it came. No, we don't accept. Likewise, server also does the same thing. On a server side, what happens is any incoming request to put the data into the remote repository, it checks the configurations. If configurations are not in place, it will reject that request. Simple. If configs are not configured, server is not ready to take your data. That's it. So let's go ahead and configure. So what you need to configure. So this is how: git config -- global, and you have to configure your username, user.name, and thereafter give the username in double quotes. For example, my name, Tuma Vikram. Done. Then check the configs now. Yeah, username is configured. Then let me configure the email ID also. These are the two important things which you need to configure. These are mandatory. User.email, double quotes, tumovikram@gmail.com. Done. Now check the configs. See, username and email ID is configured. So what happens is, if I write some code on this machine, imagine like a developer, and if I sent the code onto the server side, then it will track me saying that this piece of a code has come from Vikram and his contact email ID is so and so. So that is how it tracks. Clear? So these are the two important configurations we have to set up, guys. So how significant is in real time? The simple logic is, a developer or a test engineer may approach you saying that they are trying. If they don't have good experience with the Git, what happens is they will try to they will try git push command and it will not work. Okay, server is not ready to take it. So definitely they will approach you saying that, okay, it's not working. Then first thing is you should check the configs only. If configs are not in place, it will not take it. The next is network. The next is third is like, is it problem with the access? Okay, so all those are secondary. But primarily thing is config is what you need to check. Got it? Are we clear on this? Confirm? Okay, nice. Fine. I will stop it here for the day because rest of the things are we have to start from tomorrow. So till here we're done. We start using a lot of things, start doing a lot of activities from tomorrow. Completely real, no theory from tomorrow. And now let me update your notes, guys. So I want to take some time to configure your notes. So your batch is 31B. Where is 31B notes? I didn't create. So hold on. Okay, so let's fill up these questions. So 31B DevOps. And what is your batch timings? Class notes only. 8:30 to 8:45 to 9:45 now. Okay, now you guys have to fill up these details. Let me tell you. So this is 31B. I'm framing your notes, guys. So you start getting notes from today itself. So 8:45. When did our demo started? Quick, guys, you have to tell me. When did our demo started? You remember demo class? Okay, 15th. Is it 15th December? When did our admissions closed? Admissions closed. They changed some link. What is the date? Do you remember? 23. Okay, that is where I'll consider as start of the course. Okay, estimated time of closure, exactly 8 weeks you need to calculate. 8 weeks now. So how much, tell me guys? January 23, February 23. So estimated closure is Feb 23. Make sense? So this is how I work. I like to work like this. Then next, actual date that I have to fill it up. Okay, your batch admin. Who is your batch admin? You guys know? Shubham. So please contact this guy. So what is his mobile number? You guys have his mobile number, guys? Quickly give it. So if there is any change in the batch admin, I'll notify. But at this point, your batch admin guy is this Shubham 733 731 3415. This is so please WhatsApp him, guys. Instead of calling, please WhatsApp because a lot of students better you WhatsApp. And what is his email ID? So you guys know his email ID? No idea. So Ramon Rao email ID is this, and okay, and this is so class link I'll update. Okay, so whenever you drop a mail to me, guys, please make sure that you follow this format, even to the admin or anybody support. Everybody, you need to follow this format: full name, batch code, trainer name, time. Okay. So first of all, if this guy is not responding, what is an action plan you guys have? Prithvi, what is an action plan? I guess I told. If the Ram Mohan Rao is not responding, what you're supposed to do, guys? Yes, I keep on telling. So message him, just wait for 10-15 minutes. Always it's common. Just give him some time, 10-15 minutes. If he's not responding, then try to make a call. If he's not responding, then drop an email, put me in CC. So if I get the mail in CC, it's an understanding that you didn't receive response, right? I'll follow up. So I'll take care of things. And if I ask you guys to just go ahead and raise a support form, please, this is a support form. Okay, support form link. Click on this link and fill your details. Fill your details. So one of my support member engineer will approach you and help you with the concern, guys. Your batch code you need to put properly, 31 or 32, whatever it is. They'll help you. They will call you. Okay, that is what it happens. And let's see. First thing, what is our SDLC notes link, guys? Please, somebody share me. We'll update all the notes in single go now. SDLC notes link quickly. Where is the SDLC here? Okay, here is the one. Get the link. So copy. So this is the entire SDLC notes link. Done. The next Agile manifesto we discussed, right? So that is here. That is also done. The next what we discussed, lab setup. right? So that link. Okay. That's it. And from there on, we'll have the kit, right? So from today onwards, we'll write like other batch. So session number 12, I guess now. Is it 11 or 12 today? 12. Okay. S12. So like other batches, I mentioned the date also. So this is where we'll start adding the stuff. Okay. So your notes is up to date, guys. Okay. So now the question comes is the access, right? So let me give the notes access. So please go ahead and check your mails now. So is this mail? I don't know. Srashu, not Hotmail, it seems. Okay. Check your mails. Wait for a minute. Yeah, it seems to be done. So what happens is you will get a mail about this thing that I sent you, right? And open that document and save it to your favorites. That's it. That's the only thing you need to do. Open that document and add it to your favorites, guys. Clear? And those who did not receive the mail. So I'm done for the day, but those who did not receive the mail, please stay back and rest of the guys can leave. And again, I repeat, as usual, I'll call out the names. So I don't know who is this Sydney, and I don't know Gopal. So these are the two names. Please make sure that from next session, log in with your first name and last name. Log in with your first name and last name. Got it? Rest of the guys are doing good. That's happy. But you guys, please don't miss. Okay, those who did not receive the notes, please let me know. Sai, yeah. Sai, I don't have your name in my sheet, which was sent by your admin. So please follow up with the admin only. Okay. So what is your email ID? Let me stop recording.
Recording stopped.